Well, we got another short update. Update.
That's all right. You can start over.
I was going to say episode.
Update.
It's a Latin word. It's update.
Through the Gates is produced under the support of the Coloradans for Responsible Wildlife Management to enhance, promote, and defend the North American model of wildlife conservation and responsible wildlife management. That's our mission. We're engaged in fighting at every level so that wildlife management remains science-based and conservation continues to work for our wildlife. To learn more and join the movement, visit SaveTheHuntColorado.com. The North American model of wildlife conservation is the greatest conservation model in the world. It's a success story that should be shared and celebrated because everybody is a part of it.
Well, we got another episode, an update with Through the Gates, and trying to get people to understand just what we're doing and how we're trying to do it and what we have to do over the course of the next 4 to 6 or 8 months. The Coloradans for Responsible Wildlife Management has been steadfast in making sure that we maintain some sort of legitimate, timely, justifiable representation at the Colorado State Capitol and through the Colorado Parks and Wildlife Commission. The raffle that we're supporting at this point in time comes from the Colorado chapter of Safari Club. For more information, you're going to have to go to scicolorado.org. But that raffle that's being run is on the coattails of our victory last year on Proposition 127. This year's raffle, the Sangre De Cristo Outfitters Rut Rifle Hunt, takes roughly 22 preference points to draw, but the tag is included in this particular 5-day guided hunt. Additionally, the Salida Gun Shop and Gunwerks is providing another gun raffle with a scope. All the information is on the website, and you can go to SaveTheHuntColorado.com as well. But the reason we keep doing this is so we can fund the operational efforts of CRWM and make sure that we have the opportunity to complete our mission and follow through with what we've been doing over the course of the last 18 or 20 months. Groups like Pro Animal Future and Cats Aren't Trophies are still coming full forward, making sure that they can go to the ballot in 2026. In the interim, they've been trying to go through the Colorado State Legislature. They've been going through the Colorado Parks and Wildlife Commission, which they will again do in some capacity over the course of the next 8 or 10 or 12 months. On June 11th and 12th, just next week, the Colorado Parks and Wildlife Commission meeting will be held in Glenwood Springs. And a lot of this subject matter will be brought up for the commission to discuss in some form or fashion. If you're not paying attention to that, it would behoove you to watch that or live stream it if you go to cpw.state.co.us. To be able to stay apprised of what's going on, we need to make sure that sportsmen and women, whether they're in Colorado or not, are fully understanding what is going on in Colorado. The victories of 127 and Ordinance 308 and 309 last year sparked and incited the opposition, the animal rights extremists, to actually double and triple and quadruple down on their efforts, trying to take full advantage of what Governor Polis and his spouse, Marlon Reese, want to accomplish before their term is up. You can look at what's happening on wolf issues in the state of Colorado and the lack of management or the ill management or the micromanaging and mismanagement of what has happened for the voter initiative of Proposition 114. We're not arguing that. We understand that that was the voter initiative. However, the voter initiative also mandated that we would support Colorado Parks and Wildlife for science-based wildlife management when it came to Proposition 127 and utilizing the voter to make sure that we could do that. The opposition didn't like that. That's why they're trying to go back to the commission and trying to go back to the legislature to get them to change things. And you watch, they will go back to the ballot in 2026. There's a lot of things that are going to be on the plate over the course of the next 8 or 10 or 12 months, and you should expect the Coloradans for Responsible Wildlife Management to partner with the organizations that are part of the Colorado Wildlife Conservation Project, CWCP, to make sure that we do our very best to support the efforts of sportsmen and women in conservation in the state of Colorado. CRWM will continue to maintain, monitor, and adapt and adjust of however we need to at whatever level when it comes to representation and facilitation. We're in the process of participating in the science-based focus groups and working groups of the Colorado Beaver Management Plan. We spoke about this previously. We're also in the process of participating in the Colorado Fur Bearer Working Group to see if there needs to be any changes or adaptations in management or goals that Colorado Parks and Wildlife should engage in. Now, we as conservationists and consumptive use sportsmen and women don't think that CPW is doing anything wrong when it comes to fur bearers. However, some of our opposition, the same people that tried to bring things to fruition in 2019 on the citizens petition to the Colorado Parks and Wildlife Commission, in which they were beaten, and in 2020 when they did it again and they were beaten, and in 2021 when they had to withdraw their petition, and then in February of 22 at the General Assembly, where we beat them 4-1 when they were turning around and trying to take the harvest of mountain lions and bobcats away with Senate Bill 31. Then ultimately, in September of 23, you saw what happened as things started to formulate, and that's where Initiative 91 eventually became Proposition 127. The reason I mention that over and over and over is because it's the same people, the same entities, the same agendas over and over and over. And to be able to do that, to be able to find a way to fight this and do it religiously and justifiably takes money. Fundraising is a component of the fight. If we don't continue to fundraise for CRWM or Save the Hunt Colorado, we will not be able to continue to engage at the commission or at the legislature or at the ballot. Our enemies are fighting behind the scenes 24 hours a day, 7 days a week in some capacity, and they have governmental support by elected individuals that have an agenda to alter Colorado Parks and Wildlife's ability to manage the 961 species of wildlife, including 78 game species. They want to take the game species out and make it all non-game. They want to stop consumptive use. Ask the agricultural community just how much of a conundrum that they've been put in over wolves. We've got wolverines that are going to be introduced, bison bills that have come up, and now bison are going to be a dual status management animal. You've got black-footed ferrets on the ground with no problem, but if black-footed ferrets are going to restrict or prohibit the harvest and management of other game animals on that property, maybe we ought to question what's more important. These are things that the voters could inevitably vote on, probably uneducated. They could make the decisions on behalf of what their opinions or emotions are. In order for us to continue to fight, we need to make sure that we are finding the best route forward, because the opposition is using the lethal pass of resistance. We have to make sure that we have the funds to continue to do what we do. And you can do that by donating at SaveTheHuntColorado.com. And if you want a chance at something, you can actually get involved in the raffles that we've been running and that we'll continue to run to make sure that we have the funds necessary to go through this commission session, through the next legislative session, through the next ballot session, and until this particular governor is out of office and we can continue to maybe go back to some sort of level of normalcy where Colorado Parks and Wildlife sets the tone and narrative for what they need to do for all species of wildlife, all game species, all landowners, all visitors, and all residents alike. For more information, make sure you check out SaveTheHuntColorado.com. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Follow our podcast at Through the Gates. Subscribe, comment, and make sure you share, because without us staying together, we will not be able to defeat the enemy. Aim small, miss small, and stay the course.
If you want to support a company that supported the efforts to defeat Proposition 127, then you need to support Davis Tent. Davis Tent has provided quality canvas goods for outdoorsmen for the last 50-plus years. For more information, go to davistent.com. If you want to support another business that was instrumental in helping us defeat Proposition 127, check out Salida Gun Shop. Salida Gun Shop in Salida, Colorado provides quality products, expertise, and knowledge from individuals that actually do what they sell. Go to SalidaGunshop.com. Listen to the advice of Cameron Haynes and support companies that are supporting your cause and your efforts. Minturn Anglers is one of those companies. Minturn Anglers provides product and fishing excursions in Colorado and are second to none. For more information, go to MinturnAnglers.com.
Thanks for joining us for this episode of Through the Gates. For more content like this, make sure that you like, follow, and subscribe on all of our channels.